Hi guys, and welcome back. Finally we're getting round to doing our top 5 sailboats for 100,000 euros and less. As you know, a little while ago we did our top 3 or best 3 sailboats for 50,000 euros and under. I'll leave a link for that at the end of this video. It's taken us a while to get round to doing this one. I've been building a website, been testing a few boats and stuff like that, and sort of put this project on the back burner. Getting around to doing it, instead of putting all our boats onto one video, I'm actually going to divide it up over 5 videos to try and get as much out of each boat as possible, so we can really sort of dive in into each one and, you know, really take a proper look at it. Bear in mind that, you know, in the second-hand market we had a huge choice, so I've tried to keep sort of ex-charter boats out of this selection. It hasn't happened all the time. I've sort of built some rules for myself. You'll have to let me know in the comments below if you agree with these rules or not, but I'll sort of start to get into them. One of them, I suppose, rule number 1 is that, you know, the total budget. We're looking for sailboats, say, for 100,000 euros or less, or you guys are looking for sailboats for 100,000 euros or less. That's the whole reason for this video. And then the next ones, once we've done this, we'll do 200,000, 300,000, and so on. So I put in a rule. Rule number 1 is that the boat plus what it takes to get that boat out on the water, even if it's just for the day sail, to be able to untie from the marina pontoon and go out sailing without the boat sinking, and to be able to come back and have a good time, that it can't reach, it can't exceed the budget of 100,000. So, you know, say you spent 60,000 on a boat, that would give you 40,000 to pay your insurance and do some work on the boat and so on and so forth. So that's our budget criteria. Or you've bought a boat for 99,000, but it's ready to sail, and then maybe next season, you know, spend some money. But that's the sort of criteria. The second rule I put for myself and for this project, and we'll do, you know, as far as we can through all the selection of sailboats, you know, when we go up into higher budgets, the sailboat has to be purchased in what we would consider as a large sailing area, so somewhere where it's widely available, whether it's in the Med, you know, Europe, UK, America, and sort of Australia. And, you know, I know this sort of is common sense, but there are a few obscure makes and models of boats that have been built in bizarre places around the world, and maybe there was only 5 models made, and, you know, it makes things difficult and sort of muddies the water a little bit. So, you know, they have to be boats that are readily available. My third rule is not to be classic boats, because I think that's a subject all on itself. I love classic boats and classic cars and classic bikes, but I think it's a complete subject on itself, and I think it's something that needs diving into another time. If you guys like classic boats, please let me know, and if it's a subject you want to go into, then we'll talk about it. So let me know in the comments with that one. And also, not new boats, because you can actually buy brand new boats, small boats albeit, but brand new boats for less than 100,000 that you can pop on a trailer, you know, go off sailing. Sunbeam, one of these companies, they've actually just brought out a new boat. There'll be an article on that next week on my website. You know, we'll tie into that, but I think, you know, that's the new boat realm, and we should keep that to doing the boat tours I do at boat shows and stuff like that, because it's you know, it's new boats, new stuff, new money. Rule number 4, they're not to be steel or aluminium sailboats, because once again, whether you agree with me or not, I actually believe that they're subjects, you know, we can make some videos on these subjects alone, because they're very different. I want to keep it to production fiberglass, you know, style boats. Now, this might upset some of you, but, you know, if we're going to go into aluminium boats, I'd really like to do a deep dive, and the same with steel boats and so on. So, you know, cut me a little bit of slack with that one. These rules aren't going to go on forever, I promise. Okay, rule number 6. This one's actually for you guys, so I hope I hope you'll be happy to participate in this. If you think there are any if you think there is any unfairness in the rules that I've sort of set down, or you think I should add a rule or two for whatever within you know, a selection of criteria that you think, please let me know in the comments below. Put them in the comments below. Otherwise, on each video, obviously we won't go through these rules again on the next one, but you know, you don't want to listen to me mumbling along like a bumbling baboon all the time. Number 5, and there's a reason I've put it in to number 5, it's not so much that there's a scarcity, but there are only 38 models of this boat built between 1980 and 1985, and that is a Swan 42. It's a Ron Holland design, a spectacular boat, and any second now a walkthrough video is going to be coming up. It wasn't me that did the filming of this boat, so you know, don't shout at me for the quality or things are too close. Somebody else filmed the boat and I've used the footage, and I'll go all through the boat as we're looking around for it. Okay. Particular boat we're looking at is a 1982 Swan 42. As I said before, the architect was Ron Holland. The Swan 42s were built from 1980 to 1985, and in total there were 38 boats built. Total length of this boat is 12.8 metres, 42 foot, with a waterline length of 10.3 metres, 33 feet. She has inboard shrouds and long genoa tracks, obviously both port and starboard. She has full teak decks, granny bars at the mast. She's very sleek, very low deck coming back into the cockpit. This boat has in total just over 8 winches in one area and 2 primary winches aft. Beam of this boat is quite small, 3.95 metres or 13 foot, which is no surprise for a boat of this age. In the aft cabin you had a small double and a single. Some of the later models this was slightly different with larger storage. The galley is bigger and better than most modern yachts built today. There's actually more space in it and more storage than you'll find in a 45-foot production yacht. There's both separate fridge and freezer, 3-burner gimbaled stove. I do apologise about the camera work, but it's not my doing. I've borrowed this video. Saltwater, freshwater systems, and as you can see from the saloon, you have a large L-shaped settee port plus a berth, and starboard inline 3-seater settee and another berth. Coming forward, she is a kill step mast, and you have further storage and a V-berth for 2. It's quite high up. I've seen on other models that the V-berth is lower and changeable to have it as 2 single berths if you want to. I think the forward escape hatch is quite a good idea. These boats all came with a large dedicated nav station. I saw a really nice custom made or redone by the owners boat in Germany, where they had changed the mast to a carbon mast and boom and redone this area with all modern technology, and it's absolutely fantastic. Single heads on this boat, obviously being the age, it's a pump toilet and wet heads. That's not too much of an issue, and extra access back into the aft cabin. The displacement for these boats, the whole displacement is 9.5 tonne, fully loaded with keel, about 12 to 13 tonne, which I think is really, really light. It has a small draft pending on owner's choice of 1.8 metres, or with a max draft possible of 2.4 metres, which is about 7.11 feet. The companionway, as you've seen on the video, there are 2 main cabins, but it can sleep up to 9 people. Your main sail area is 31.9 metres with a genoa of 63.7 metres and a spinnaker asymmetric at 153 square metres as standard. So she has really big sail area. There's space to adapt and put a jib on and change your sail plan as you need to. She comes standard with a 30 horsepower Perkins, but most are upgraded to a 40 horsepower Perkins. Depending on the model, you had a fuel capability of 270 litres, which was spread over 2 fuel tanks, and water was 360 litres, and that was spread over 3 tanks independently within the boat, which, you know, once again is better than most production yachts, 45 foot or even 50 foot nowadays. She's shaft driven. Most were fitted with a 3-bladed folding prop, and your average cruising speed was 6 knots under power, you know, and a max speed of around 8 knots under power. I think it's an absolutely fantastic boat. If you'd like more information, let me know in the comments below. Yeah, I mean, what can I say? It's an absolutely beautiful Swan. The Swan 45 model was pretty much mirrored off this one. It was obviously just a much larger boat. They're great club racing boats. Absolutely fantastic club racing boats. Great cruising boats. I've found them for around 70,000 euros in pretty good nick. Ready to sail. But you could easily spend 20 or 30 grand doing it up. So once again, it comes back to that rule of keeping it to 100 grand. Maybe just redoing the rigging and, you know, your main sheets and halyards and all that sort of stuff. But otherwise, an amazing boat. Let me know what you think. Hope you enjoyed that. I love swans, always have. You know, I can remember growing up in the Solent on the south coast of the UK, sailing, and if it wasn't an oyster that you saw every now and then, it was a swan. They were unmistakable amongst the other boats, you know, sailing around. Absolutely spectacular, beautiful. Swan obviously still manufacture sailboats today, and some of the best sailboats in the world. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. Comment below. If you're interested, I've been building a website. There's only about 9 articles on it at the moment. I shall put a link to that in the comments below. You know, just have a look, but every week we're going to be putting up at least 1 or 2 articles. Some of them are practical, some of the articles follow for when I'm delivering a sailboat, or practical ideas of doing a passage across the Bay of Biscay, you know, and all that sort of stuff, and things to do on a night watch, and, you know, just bits and pieces that you might find interesting. Hopefully we're going to be doing a collaboration with an English guy, really nice guy, to do some tech stuff and some tech videos, hopefully. If not, then I should just have to find my way around them. Thanks again, guys. See you next week. We're going to try, well, boat number 4 is coming next week, and then the week after. So we'll go through it like that, so you don't have to sit through 40-minute videos. We're going to try and break them down, keep them to sort of 10 minutes. And then during the weeks, when I do a boat review, a walk round, then I'll upload those anyway, so it won't bother with those. We got Can Boat Show coming up in September, which is brilliant. Already got a invite from a couple of boat manufacturers to have a look around, which I'm really, really excited about. Can't wait for that, and hopefully some big boats for you to look at and some small boats. And then we got the La Rochelle Boat Show, and hopefully, if we can get the money together, we might even get to Annapolis in America this year, which will be absolutely awesome. So I'll see you next week.